Well, thank you guys for joining. We may have some more people probably coming in later, but I'm going to go ahead and start. Thank you guys for joining my webinar about SMART goals. It is so good to see you guys here today. I'm really excited. My name is Emoni. I am a health fitness specialist here at Live Life Well. I am a certified exercise physiologist, and I have a bachelor's in kinesiology. I went to UNCG for that, so go Spartans. But that is enough about me for right now. The purpose of this webinar is to really take a deep dive into SMART goals, what it is, and how to effectively plan one out. Usually when we think of setting a goal, we try to cram every single thing that we ever want to get done in life into one big goal. And no, it never works. That's bad. Don't do that anymore because we end up getting overwhelmed. That leads us to being unmotivated and we feel like a failure and we start to quit. And then we end up in a cycle and a loop of quitting and starting goals and never really fully accomplishing them. Going through this cycle can cause a level of burnout, and it can also make you hesitant to um, enact in future goals or even trying to plan or start a future goal. Usually we think go big or go home, but no, it's okay to take the steps sometimes, okay? It's all right to take the steps. So today we're going to go into SMART goals and how to plan one out effectively. At the end of this, I plan on sending you guys basically a worksheet, a handout, whatever you want to call it. And it's pretty much helping you write out and plan out your SMART goals on your own after this webinar. You can have the PDF and print it out as many times as you want for as many goals as you want. But we are going to focus on the fitness side of things. It's only right. I am a health fitness specialist, but SMART goals is something that you can use regardless in any point or any time or anything in your life. That's one reason why I love them. So a SMART goal is pretty much a realistic goal, something that is realistic to you and making it able to achievable for you. So it really is whenever we go through them, you will realize that SMART goal is really about being honest with yourself, where you're at, your lifestyle, your characteristics, and planning a goal around that. First, we have specific. So we really have 5 criterias within a SMART goal, but we will start off, of course, with specific. As we go through the rest of the letters M, A, R, and T, you will realize that they kind of build specific. You will kind of go back to specific. A lot of them we will touch onto different ones within one criteria. So they all work hand in hand to build up one big goal. So you do have specific, you want your goal to be as detailed as possible. The more detailed you are within your goal, the more likely you are able to see it and achieve it. You want it to be measurable. You want to know how you're going to reach your goal and when is the end point for your goal. You want it attainable and achievable. So you want it to be able to be to get done. You want it realistic. You want to be honest with yourself and really make an honest goal. And you do want it timely and tangible. So when do you want to start it? When do you want to end your goal? So first, going into specific, again, you want it as detailed as possible. The more detailed your goal is, the more you are able to achieve it because you're able to see it. You have everything there in front of you. There's no gray areas. So the what ifs, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, they're all answered. Okay, they're there. So here I have a general goal and I have a specific goal. For the general goal, this is something that I hear a lot whenever I do work with people with SMART goals. I hear I want to lose weight, which I think that in itself is very non-specific because one, okay, I ask people, well, how do you want to lose weight? What areas do you want to work on? And for me, I do embodies. So the embody kind of takes your full body composition. So it takes your muscle mass, it takes your fat mass, it takes your water weight. So one thing I can say is, well, let's switch that from losing weight to let's focus on building muscle mass, or let's decrease the amount of fat mass that you have. But for the sake of this webinar, we are going to start with I want to lose weight. To make that specific, we have I want to lose 14 pounds within the next 3 months by eating clean foods only, working out at a gym 3 days a week, I will feel better within myself if I lose this weight. As you can see, this kind of taps into different parts of a SMART goal. And you'll see whenever you do your SMART goal, your specific goal will change or it'll merge as you go into the different areas of the SMART goal. But this is a great starting point. Now, you can even get more specific with this. So they say within the next 3 months by eating clean foods. What clean foods do you want to eat? What foods do you want to incorporate into your diet? Those are things that you can add into your SMART goal. Working out at the gym. What gym do you want to go to? Do you need to go and get a membership from a gym? What do you want to do when you don't want to go to the gym? So really trying to answer any possible gray area questions. So whenever you do get into your goal and you are in the midst of it and you're deep in it and your motivation is kind of wavering, you have everything in a sense answered and planned out. So, creating specific goals. It is important to answer the 5W questions whenever you start. So, what do I need to do? Basically, what is your goal? What is it that you want to get done? Where will I reach this goal? Where do you want to go in order to reach this goal? So, it could be a gym, it could be a cleaner grocery store like Whole Foods, something that's specific to your goal. When will I reach this goal? That's going into time. How long do you want to take to be able to reach this goal? Who needs to be involved and who does not need to be involved to achieve this goal? And I think this is really important to answer because this goes out to resources. So what resources do you need? Let's say if you are trying to eat clean, having resources to a dietitian and involving a dietitian in your goal. Let's say it is to get into the gym. You want to tone some things. You want to build your skeletal muscle mass. Having someone like me, a health fitness specialist around, to be able to help you with something like that. Also, I think it's important to have a doctor involved. Sometimes we may not realize it, but there can be underlying issues that a doctor can point out from a blood work, having your hormones tested, to be able to point certain things out that you may need to solve before you do get into your goal, or it may even change your goal in general. Who does not need to be involved to achieve this goal? Now, we all know we have those friends, we have those family members that do not need to be around whenever you are trying to achieve a goal. They will lead you astray. So, one is about having those boundaries with yourself and the people around you. And also being specific with your goal will keep you on track if you aren't able to get away from these people. Um, Even saying, hey, instead of us going to go get ice cream today, let's make this recipe that I found. That's a little healthier. And if those people can't deal with those boundaries, then hey, for these next 3 months, okay, we gotta lay low. I can't really talk to you like that. And then last one, but definitely not least, is your why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? This is really what's going to help keep you on track when you aren't motivated and you just want to quit. You can always remind yourself of your why. So next, we have measurable. How do you want to see that you are reaching your goal? How do you want to track your progress? This is important because if you don't have anything to measure your goal, then you're not likely to keep to it. This helps you stay focused. It helps you meet the deadline. It helps keep you motivated. And then it's ensuring that you're meeting your goal because you know what you want to do and where you want to go. Now, as far as measurable, a lot of people, we think of numbers. I think when you are making your SMART goal, you want to incorporate as many numbers as possible. But for some things, especially if it is something as far as weight, we don't want to only depend on numbers. It could be as simple as, how does your body feel? How does my clothes fit? Am I able to walk up the stairs a little easier? Am I not out of breath as much as I walk? If you are dealing with a dietitian or a doctor, numbers like that. Let's say if something as far as you deal with diabetes, those numbers, those things are important, but we don't want to solely just rely on the numbers. No. So next is creating measurable goals. How to create a measurable goal. You want to ask yourself these questions. How much, how many, how will I know when it's accomplished? So again, it could be how much weight am I starting off with in the gym? I know I'm starting off with 5 dumbbells, 5 pound dumbbells. Now I'm over in 20. So, those things are really important. You want to have something that can keep you consistent and keep you knowing where your progress is and where you're going and where you want to go. Attainable, achievable. I like to put those together for A. One, you want your goal to be able to be realistic to you so it is achievable. That's going into R, but we're in A right now. You want it realistic so it is achievable. You want it something that is going to, of course, take you out of your comfort zone, but you don't want something that is too overbearing and not able to be easily attained, because then you're going to go through the cycle again of creating and stopping goals. And again, SMART goals, we are trying to get out of that cycle. We don't want to have to go through burnout anymore. So again, we want to take small steps, baby steps. Now, if you do get to this point and you're like, okay, is my goal attainable to me? And you realize, I don't know, this seems like a little too far reach. What you can do is break down your goal, make it into a smaller goal. And I know a lot of times people, especially me, I know I'm one of them, we get a little prideful and we say, no, I'm going to accomplish this goal. I can do it. If I put my mind to it, it's going to get done. But no, guys, it really, truly, it is okay to break it down and make it more attainable. You being realistic with yourself and truly honest with yourself is the biggest thing and the most adult thing that you can do when creating goals and trying to do better for yourself, your life, and your body. So if you do get to this point, you feel like it's not achievable, it's not attainable, break it down, accomplish that goal, and then make another goal. Creating attainable goals. You can attain a goal when you plan your steps wisely, establish a realistic time frame that allows you to carry out those steps. If it sounds too overwhelming, you can decrease the amount of your goal, okay? It is all right, I promise. Make it smaller, chunk it. So next is realistic and relevant. I like to add those together. Your goal should be realistic to you. It should be relevant to you. Now, don't choose a goal because someone is doing it and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks so fun. I probably should be doing that too, because then you're going to get stuck in it and you're going to be like, no, I don't really think this one's for me. So do something that is relevant to you and also realistic to you. When you are creating your realistic goal, you want to ask yourself these questions. Do I truly believe that it can be accomplished? Is this goal worth your time and your effort? Don't start a goal and then you're questioning whether you are able to accomplish it or not. Have I accomplished something similar in the past? So you can pull from your past experiences, things that you have done. If you tried to do something before and it didn't work out, well, what was the lesson that you had to learn from that? And apply that to this goal to be able to switch it up and really make it realistic to you. Can I identify the conditions that would have to exist to accomplish the goal? So, what does your life have to look like in order for you to achieve the goal that you're trying to achieve? Does this goal match your needs and your wants? You have to really be realistic. Is this the right time for you to even pursue this goal? Do you have to maybe start on something else different and then come back to this goal? You really have to assess. I feel like A and R are really about being honest and really taking an account of your lifestyle, your characteristics, and what you truly have going on around you. And then lastly, how can I edit my goals to be realistic? So if you get to R and you get to A and you're saying, I don't really think this is the right goal for me, or what I have put into the criteria of my goals, I don't think I'm going to be able to really stick to this truthfully. Then what can you do to your goal to be able to switch it around, to be able to shift it for you in your life? So next, we have timely and tangible. We'll get to that next. So Any goal, you have to have a start and a finish. If you don't have a start date, are you going to start your goal? And you want to have a date to finish it. If you don't have a finish date, then you're more likely to not have urgency behind your goal and your sense of being consistent with your goal. So for this one, even in school, we learned that 3 months, I tell everyone 3 months is a good time to have to set a goal, to either see progress within the goal or to actually complete the goal. Not saying you won't have progress before the 3 months, but 3 months is a good general baseline for any goal. But goals do come in many shapes, sizes, and time frames. So you want to make sure you are just assessing yourself and really being realistic, using your resources um, to try to plan your goal accordingly. Tangible. I love tangible. This kind of goes back to being specific with your goal. Um, you are more likely to reach your goal if it is tangible. So something that you can see, touch, smell, hear. Um, and that just goes into taking out any gray area, taking out any what ifs from your goal. So if you are trying to eat clean, what is it that you want to taste? What fruits do you want to touch and be able to see? What smells? How do you want your smells to see? I mean, how do you want your food to smell? Excuse me. And what do you want to see? What do you want to hear from yourself and hear from the people around you during this time? Let's say your goal is to be able to go to the gym, okay, and you want to eat clean. What do you want to taste? What equipment do you want to touch? What smells do you want to smell around you? Those things are really important. It keeps your goal grounded and also just keeps you grounded throughout the cycle of going through your goal. Okay. And how do we stay focused during this time? Now, realistically, setting a goal and actually enacting it and going through your goal, it can be challenging, and that's just being realistic. Um, and the more you take in account the honesty of having a goal and how hard a goal can be, the more likely you are to achieve it because you're already expecting it, so you can plan for it. So you want to strategize, do your research, develop a plan to reach a goal. And that really just goes down to being very specific. As far as, let's say, if it's recipes, what recipes do I want to do? What gyms do I want to go to? Do I need to get a gym membership? Um, what goes into you having to enact in this goal? What do you have to do? Write out your thoughts and plan to stay organized and on track. This is really big. Whenever I talk with someone, I tell them, write down what you're thinking, write down what you're feeling, write down your plan. The more that you write, the more likely you are to get it out of your head. It's not overwhelming, it's on paper. You're able to look back and go through it. Even if you are, let's say, going through your goal, write down at the end of each week, how do I feel about this week? The first week, how do I feel? Second week, how do I feel? What do you see? What changes do you want? I feel like those things are really important. It keeps you grounded in your goal, and I think that's the main thing and really important when setting a goal. Know that it is okay to make necessary changes. I know I'll speak for myself. I know for me, when I set a goal, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm sticking to. So anytime that there comes a change or I feel like I have to switch something up or switch something around, it causes frustration. But it's okay to have to switch things around and make your necessary changes because one is just you being honest with yourself and you getting closer to reaching a goal. Don't During this process, it is easy to try to beat yourself up about what you can't do, what you're not doing. But as long as you're just keeping an open mindset and being open with yourself, you will make it through, I promise. Next section, we want to minimize the obstacles. That's really important. On this worksheet that I'll be sending or handout that I'll be sending at the end of the webinar, it's going to ask you, what are your obstacles that you have, your potential obstacles. Knowing your obstacles is important because you are able to go ahead and address those things in advance. Instead of it coming and you're in the middle of your goal, let's say you're doing good, you have an obstacle come up and now you don't know what to do, and now you fall out of your goal. So acknowledging those obstacles, being honest about those obstacles, and planning a solution for those obstacles in advance are what's going to help you get through with everything else, with your why and your time and you being tangible with things, are going to help you get through to the end of your goal. Last, for minimize obstacles, avoid quick result strategies. I think this is a really big one. I know a lot of times, especially on TikTok, social media, Facebook, Instagram, we have a lot of people saying, oh, take this pill, do this, drink this smoothie, and your body's going to change in 2 weeks. Anything that happens fast, it will not last for a long time. So let's say you take a certain pill. Let's say after you stop taking the pill, everything is going to come right back that the pill may have stopped. So one, if you do, you're allowing yourself to be consistent and dependent on something instead of just relying on yourself and doing it right the right way. Or you may end up with health conditions that you never had before because you're trying to find a get rich quick scheme. If you do it the right way, you won't have to go back and continue to do it again. Utilize your resources. Please, please utilize your resources. And this goes into asking for help, which can be a big thing for a lot of people. But if it's around you, use it. Apps, platforms that can help you stay on track. Seek expert guidance. You only know what you know. It's okay to ask questions and seek for help. With Live Life Well, we have plenty of resources, especially for Cone Health employees, that you guys can tap into and really use us. I'm here. I'm a health fitness specialist. I can help you, give you some advice. We can email, we can chat, we can meet up. We do in-body scans, fitness assessments, and everything else that you probably can think of. I promise you we have it. And if we don't, you can ask us and we can try to lead you to something or somewhere that does have it. So yes, please, all you resources that you have around you, please use them. Going into resources, Live Life Well resources. So I have a link down here. If you do go on our Live Life Well online website, we have things such as walking trails that show you walking trails around the different hospitals, fitness centers. Primarily, I work in Alamance. That is the only hospital that you have to pay for. It's a $5 membership fee per pay period. All the rest of the hospitals, if you are a Cone Health employee, you are free to go in. You just have to have your badge, scan in, use all of our equipment. We have access to Weight Watchers. We have registered dietitians that you can, I think it's 2 free visits, up to 3 free visits that you can have with a registered dietitian, and so much more. That we have to offer you. I have the website down here in the email that I'm going to send. I have everything else. We have well-being bucks. Make sure you're doing your qualified healthy premium. Get into all of our resources, please. We are here to help, honestly. So I want to leave you guys with 2 different quotes. So this one here is from my high school coach, Coach Mack. I'll never forget it because he used to say it every day, all the time. Do it right, we keep it tight. You do it wrong, we do it long. So this was pretty much his saying during the warm-up. So if we did an exercise wrong, if we were doing 6 inches and someone's legs just wasn't up high enough or at the right spot, we would have to stop and we would have to do it again. And I felt this was the perfect quote to have for SMART goals because it's true. If you do it the right way, you go through the grunt and the grime of having to do it the right way. You won't have to do it again. You'll get to your goal, you'll accomplish it. But if you do it wrong, let's say if you skip something, you find a quick result scheme somewhere and you drop everything, you do that, you're going to have to end up doing your goal again, and you're going to end up in that vicious cycle of trying to complete a goal. And we are trying to avoid that. Please, SMART goals. So next we have just stay positive and really keep the positivity of your goal in your forefront. I know it's easy to think of negative. I know it's easy to think of what you have to do, what things are switching up, where you may not be at, where you're trying to go. But if you keep on to the positive and hang on to the positive and keep reminding yourself of the positive for your body, for your life, for your lifestyle, it'll keep you and it'll help you through. And that is the end. I want to save some time for questions if you guys do have questions. But I want to thank you guys for coming. Please reach out. My email is here. I do have Live Life Well linked again because we have so many resources. Please use them. We are here. We are here to help. Any questions? And if not, if you don't want to ask questions now, you can always email me. You can always email Live Life Well.